Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very first live from me, Natasha Harris.
And I'm Lucy Brand.
And we're together with the Circle of Light movement. And Happy New Year to everyone. Happy 2022. And just briefly, just to caveat what we're going to be talking about today, we're talking about creating a life of built on magic and not just metrics. So we really want to talk into how magical are you feeling right now as we sort of step over the threshold into 2022? Like, do you feel the magic coming in? Do you have hopes and desires and dreams for what you're going to create for 2022? Or do you feel a little bit like, now I've got to just take a big deep breath after having a bit of a break, and I've got to put my foot flat down, head down, got to get busy, got to get going in your work, in your career, in your business, in your life? Like you're single and you want to make sure now this year counts. So what is that at the moment that you're feeling right now? And we're going to talk into a little bit of the magic. So over to Lucy to
we're super excited about this. And what I love is, like, with Natasha and I, we have conversations all the time, conscious conversations in the background. And then it ends up that we're like, it was actually Natasha shared something, and I was like, oh, that's an amazing topic for Thursday, metric and magic, because we were kind of reflecting on last year, both for individually and then together, because this is obviously a partnership, a collaboration, and just what we'd noticed in each other, and realized that for me, reflecting back on last year, when I started to go granular, and what I mean by like that is when I started to zoom in on the numbers, on the metrics, on, like, let's say how many followers you have on social media, how many members you have in your group, how many people have clicked on your Facebook ads, like how much ad spend is. When I've looked at, or when I get so focused on that, it sucks the joy out for me. And when the joy is sucked out, then I become unfulfilled and I lose the magic. I work so closely with source and my intuition and my guides and flow. And for me, the numbers get me out. But it's interesting because I love numbers, even though I have number dyslexia. So sometimes I can get a bit frustrated, but I love money numbers. I love finances. I love looking at, like, how much money is coming into my account, like, and what investments I love looking at that. But when it goes really granular, and I think what's coming to me now is when it's about humanness. So how many followers you have, it's actually a human. Hi, Marina.
Hi.
On the other end of that, like, it's like how many people have signed up, there's a human on the other end of that. And I think when I personally focus on the granular and the numbers and the metrics, when there's humans involved, that's when I lose my connection, and that's when I lose my magic. And sometimes I can end up berating myself because I'm not getting the results that my ego wants.
Yeah, it feels very 3D, doesn't it? And Lucy and I are very aligned in these things, and we, it's something, again, as Lucy said, we talked about the other day, and it was like, oh yeah, of course, this is why this didn't happen. This is why we were struggling with some certain things, and how we can just tap into that magic again. And it's not about being either or. I think this is what's coming to me at the moment. It's like, loving the money numbers. I love the money numbers. I love looking at, like, where I am in my business, where I'm going, those kind of things. But it's done from a place of magic. It's done from a place being in the magical, being in the, not like, oh, I have to hit these targets. And when I notice that I'm doing that, because we're all human and we do, then we forget the magic that actually, especially with the money, is like, that's attached to people. It's a co-creation. It's not your sole responsibility to make that money appear. That's in the more beautiful feminine energetics of creating connections with people, of, if you're working in, if you have a corporate job but you're working in business, and everything is built on relationship. If you sign a new client in your private business, but also as a client for your company, that's not your client per se, but the company's client, it's about building those relationships. and it's a co-creation to allowing then the money come in, and we become very focused on that it's my responsibility to make sure the money comes in, I make money for the company, all sorts of things. So that's where the magic can come in, because we can be focused and love the numbers side of it, but also be very much in the co-creation of it. And we can sometimes want to ignore the numbers. So we can, on the flip side of that, we can go, I don't want to look at the numbers because they're too scary. And if I really look at, and this is where a lot of entrepreneurs get into an awful lot of trouble, because they're not willing to look at the numbers, because they want to just play in the magic. And it's, you know, the creation, the manifesting power is here in the 3D.
Yeah, I completely love and agree with everything you've just said. And we both love the numbers, don't we? But I think like what happens is, if I can only speak for myself, but I think what happens for me is that I completely drop into my humanness and I get tunnel vision. And so when you get so focused and attached to the outcome, you're missing all the magic around here. Whereas if you can kind of lightly hold the vision, the intention, the desire, and let go of the attachment, the magic can fill in. So for me, it is like, I notice that if I am getting really granular on the numbers, that's when things go wrong for me. Like it all just starts to fall apart because I'm just not happy and I don't see the results. Whereas if I loosely hold the intention and don't, like, I could keep an eye on the numbers. And when I say that, like, I mean checking in once a week, but not like, or once a month or whatever works for you, but like not, you know, every second, or thinking about them every second, you know, because that's where it can just get so focused, you're going to miss the magic. Because how can the divine, how can the universe show up if your ego mind is like, I want this result and I want it this way and I want it this amount? It's like, well, I massively believe in divine timing, and it is also about the journey. So it might be that at this point, that singular humanness result you want isn't in your highest good at this divine point in time. It might be that there's a lesson for that you need to learn before you go, what is it, like have wild results the next time, because it's all lined up then and it's divine timed. And so there's so many factors, I think, that play into success, that when we get so human and granular and focused on how it should be done, the how, and like on what we want, that's when we lose the magic, or that's when I personally lose the magic. And then it just doesn't become fun anymore. And when it doesn't become fun, it becomes hard and heavy. And then it's like trying to push spaghetti up a hill. And that is not what life's meant to be about. It's actually meant to be fun and joyous and fulfilling.
That's it. It's like sprinkling the magic within that. You know, it's yes, be focused on something, your desires, but look forward, not down, and look out and open. And so often what we're doing is, when we're focusing on the results, only the results, as Lucy says, we miss the magic around us. But what we're doing is actually focusing on the lack. We focus on the lack of things, the lack of the results, the lack of the clients, the lack of the people, the lack of the partner that we want to manifest, the lack of the pounds that we're not losing, the health that we're not feeling. We focus very much on the lack. And so that's what the resonance of our physical being is, when we're focused on the lack, and that's what we attract more of. So we want to be in that space of, where's the magic? Yes, this is where I am right now, and acknowledging that this is what's showing up. How can I shift my resonance, my frequency, my vibrational frequency, to start matching my desire by focusing on it more, and then noticing how that's showing up? Okay, so something's still not showing up. Okay, there's something else within me that needs to shift. And I think that that's what Lucy was, saying earlier, is like, that's the lesson in it. We're not a vibrational match for it yet. But if we only focus on the lack, we will be it'll be hard work, it'll be huge amounts of effort, very little magic in actually moving our vibrational frequency to become the match. So where is your attention going? Is it on the lack, or is it in the possibility that at this moment you can't see the results, but the possibility is that as you shift and as you focus on the next step and the next step, and shifting and doing and creating and allowing the magic to filter through, that result is a possibility, step by step by step.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. And that's the thing I want to just add to that is like when you are focused on the lack or the not the results, it's really hard to be grateful for what you have got or what you have achieved. And actually, gratitude is an amplifier to calling stuff in. So even if it's just one person or 1 pound that you've lost in weight or whatever it might be, like, then that's amazing, and that needs celebrating. Start celebrating that. And even as I say those words, I feel my energy opening up as I talk about that, like celebrating and just calling more of that in. And also I feel that to talk about the vibration and the frequency, like I think there's always this Natasha spoke about it before, but like when with spiritual entrepreneurs, there tends to be a thing of that, oh, I'm going to manifest it. But have you got the systems to support that? Have you got the capacity to support that right now? So you might be saying, oh, I want to make this amount of money, or I want this amount of people to sign up for my program. Are you able to, do you have the capacity energetically, mentally, emotionally, and physically, as in time, to hold that amount of people, to hold that amount of money? And that's what I think some people don't quite connect with, is that you need the systems and support to fulfill your desires. And those systems and support are 3D. Yeah. They're absolutely 3D. They're like MailChimp, or like we're using StreamYard, like whatever those platforms are. You need those systems in place to help you succeed, feel fulfilled, joyful, or it might even be educating yourself. It might mean that there's a little piece that you need to educate yourself on by taking a program or taking a course or hiring a coach. And then you're able to hold that frequency and fulfill your desire. But in all of that I've just said, none of it I mentioned granular numbers.
No, that's interesting, isn't it? And it's about being a vibrational match, a frequency match to what it is you desire. And we get there bit by bit by bit. And what we tend to do, and I think what's really become very evident in now as we step into a new year, is that we set ourselves up to have a goal. We must accomplish this by the end of the year, by the 31st of December 2022. And if we don't do it, we failed. And if we do it, we succeed. And then it's like hard stop. And then we start again in the next year and go, no, now I've got a new set of numbers. And we forget that actually, the years are irrelevant, really. It's the journey. It's such a cliche, but we mark everything by years. But actually, there's only a second between the strike of midnight on one year and stepping into the next year. Where's this hard stop that we've forcibly put ourselves in that really doesn't exist? It doesn't exist. We've created that with the conscious mind. We've created that. So how we're flowing through things, so I was talking to a client and she was saying that, for this year, she wants to reach spiritual mastery. I was like, wow, that's a huge thing. I'm not sure I'll be there when I hang my boots up and I'm like, see you later. I'm waiting for the next life. What is spiritual mastery? It's not a goal. It's a way of being. It's a way of living. It's a way of exuding who you are and what you are. And that's being in the magic of it. So that was just one example. I've had things from different clients over the last week and it's just been really interesting. I was like, oh, okay. And there's an element of me that goes, yeah, I totally resonate with that. When's my spiritual mastery coming? When will it be here? And it's a hard thing, but what does it even mean? Often we don't even know what that means. There are a million steps to spiritual mastery. We don't just get to spiritual mastery. We have to break that down. What's the first step? Okay, well, that's my first little goal. Okay, I'm feeling that. I'm embodying that. I'm experiencing that. That's just shown up for me. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. But yeah, really, really powerful stuff.
Yeah, and I love that. Like, I don't even know what spiritual mastery looks like, or would anyone ever get there? Like, I just don't know, because I feel that spirituality is such a personal thing, like your spiritual practice and how you connect with your guides, source, God, whatever you want to call it. So I think it would be unique to you, the mastery. But like, I love that. Yeah, like, and what you just said, with the clock, so it's a second, like,
Millisecond.
it's like the same with $1 million. The difference between you know, not having $1 million and $1 million is $1. Like, or the same with your goal or desired weight, like it's £1 difference, you know. So it's like these little increments that you can do and change. Like, it is literally about the journey. And what came up for me is like, I want to share this, but like, it's like this when you're making love, like to yourself or to someone else, whatever it might be. But like, if you're so focused on the climax and orgasm, like, it's just not, this is what was coming to me. It's like, it's just not as fun. Like, it's just like the journey. Go on the journey and you take it slow and it's amazing, and you bring it back and you pull it forward, you bring it back, and then if you do happen, because the goal's not to climax, the goal is, I don't like that word, desire is to have pleasure, experience pleasure. Then if you do climax, it's like, whoa, not only will it normally be amazing, but then it's like, oh wow, like that was unexpected and awesome. And I was like, whenever I bring it back to, for me, sex, like, it does slow me down, like, because it gets me out of my head and actually into my body, because it's like a body experience, isn't it?
That's
when I embody something, like for me, it's like I might have the vision, which I see it's from my third eye. So again, it's still up here in this part of my head. And then even if I speak my vision into reality, this is still the head part. So then when I drop it down into my heart, for me, into my womb space or my yoni, that's when I embody something, like whether that be like financial numbers of my bank account or whatever it might be. It's about bringing it into my body. And then when it's in here, like in my body, the frequency, I'm normally an energetic match, and then it manifests like that in my actual life.
Yeah, you absolutely will be, because as soon as it's a frequency we hold within our cellular level, then we're a vibrational match. It's then, can we keep that vibrational match going forward? And that's where the ongoing journey then continues. I love what you say, Lucy. You're so right. Like, I'm sure there are women watching this who will be, yeah, that totally resonates. That's how I want to get to climax, because it becomes again one of these goal things. It's like, oh, it was either successful if I climax or it wasn't. And it's like, how do we embrace the journey of that? The pleasure, the desire, the connection, the touch, the feel, the almost touch, and bring that into everything we do. It's like we have a conversation and with someone, and it's, oh yeah, okay, they haven't signed up, but that's okay. We've just had an incredible conversation. We've gone on an amazing date, but it didn't go anywhere. And we forget that, oh, that's failure now, because we've gone on the date and it didn't go anywhere and it was really great. And why didn't they like me? And we beat ourselves up again in the lap, rather than just being in the pure generosity and celebration and gratitude that we've had and met another incredible human being, and it's proof and evidence that exists, and we're becoming that vibrational match towards amazing human beings, an amazing partner. So it's like we forget that, celebrate it. Start being in that vibration of celebrating it, even if it's just you touched it and then it disappeared. It's like, oh, I touched it. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. I touched it. It's possible for me. Now let's stay in that vibrational frequency and attach and attract more.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. And when you do slow down, when you take it slower, and you kind of, I see it as like waves on a beach, like just like, and each time the tide comes out a bit more. And when you do it that way, your body doesn't freak out or your mind doesn't freak out. So you can keep going and then have the capacity to hold more, or whatever. When I say hold more, it could be like experience more money, experience call in a lover, whatever it might be. But you keep going, like Natasha said, it's not just to stop the end of the year. Like in my marriage, it's not like, oh no, like we've got to do it again the next year. Like it's just a continuous journey and growth, like the sea. And if you can do it like that gently, then in the end you're going to be able to hold the world, like whatever you want, because you'll have the capacity and you've done it slow and steady. Because we've talked about this before, where sometimes you have a desire. The easiest way is to share this is with money, but this is why people that win the lottery lose it all within a year, and some even go into debt because they haven't got the capacity to keep or host that frequency of $1 million, let's call it that. And so what happens is they stretch because they win that $1 million, and then they recoil like an elastic band and snap, and they're like, and then they lose it all or spend it all.
It's so common, isn't it?
So common. And you can apply that to every area of your life. Whereas if you do it slowly, step by step, like the tide of the sea, and like in your own time as well, there's divine timing for just you, you know, stop comparing yourself to other people. And then if you do it that way, it's more fun, it's easier, it's like joyful, fulfilling, and I promise you, you will reach the desire that you want. Because when you do it that way, you collapse timelines as well. Because when you just increasing your capacity to hold a frequency, then all of a sudden it doubles and you can hold more, and it doubles and you can hold more. And that's when you need the 3D systems behind you supporting you.
Yeah, that's so true. Let us know if you've got any questions. If you're watching the replay, of course, type #replay, tag Lucy and I, ask us some questions. Let us know how, you know, this resonates with you, what doesn't resonate with you. Like, how are you going to do things differently going forward with a couple of nuggets? What was the most inspiring or important message you heard today? But keep sprinkling the magic. You know, it's not just about focusing on the metrics, and it's certainly not just about focusing on the magic either. I think that that's what we want to really bring to it. It's about being a little bit in both. It's about sprinkling it, about recognizing what you desire here in the 3D world, stepping into the results that you want to bring into manifest, but also allowing the magic to come in. And when Lucy and I know that when we forget about the magic, things slow down, wind down, they just like kind of turn off and become a little bit of a trickle. But as soon as we open that door, open our arms to receiving again, the magic starts to happen. The magic, we start to vibrate on a different frequency and allow that magic in. So just wanted to say thank you for watching.
Thank you so much, and welcome to 2022. I'm super excited about this year. It's got very nice energies. Like number 2 has got really nice energies, and it is about divine timing and trust and faith as well.
Yeah, really, really powerful.
Hold the faith and trust about any desires you have for this year or the next year. Just keep going. Just keep going. You've got it.
One step, small task at a time. You know, that might be something might be your big goal, your big vision. Don't put a timestamp on it. Just take the first step and keep celebrating each step of those journeys, because you're getting closer and closer and closer to the big thing. So if this resonates with you, and if you would love to come and find out a little bit more about our Circle of Light movement and our community membership, then please head over to our website, www.circleoflightmovement.com. Have a little look, send us a private message. If you've got questions about how it works, what happens, then please do come over and just send us a private message. If you sign up to our newsletter, you'll get 2 powerful healings, one from Lucy, one from me. And we will be looking forward to welcoming you into the community and into the beautiful community that we are growing. That it's all about standing in the light, supporting each other, holding each other's hands, and walking into the new paradigm and co-creating it together.
Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we shall see you next Thursday. Take care.
Bye.